Right. Yep.
And then with towel and all these things are really coming together for you.
Thank you.
That's pretty close
Now,
to the fingers. Watch the fingers there. All right, let's do the other one. That's why we have.
This is-
that's
yeah.
why we have 4 potatoes.
The dangers of being in the kitchen, right?
Sure. Yeah.
It's a real thing. This one's a little more scary than the knife.
It's definitely like 1,000%. By the way, more scary than the knife.
If that went boom, that's coming off.
Yeah, but you got super glue in the back.
Okay.
We'll just do a couple more. You did look pretty good.
Yeah.
C+.
Thank you. Oh, I got to see.
So we've got these potatoes here.
Right.
We got this pan. We can find a nicer sloped cast iron pan when we talk to your prop guy. Or like it's French steel, what would it be called? But I don't have that.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna.
What is that? Olive oil?
This is just olive oil.
Good.
A little bit of butter. We use pads of butter.
So you mix it.
We'll get that warm. Yeah, that mix the fats a little bit. We just literally want that to be melted.
Right.
So what you're gonna do is make a concentric pattern and just kind of spiral. I'll do start from
Keep
here.
going.
I go opposite. So I go center out, outside in, backwards, so it makes an even cake.
Now, when you say work my way
So,
in,
yeah,
go now. Come back. Oh, go closer. Now, what do you think?
That looks great. And then what we're gonna do is salt it.
You want me to press it?
Yeah, I like to press it down a little bit. Why don't you crack some fresh black pepper on there, because that's also, right? You don't want to have a cooking scene in a movie without the chef cracking fresh black pepper. And then we're gonna put a little more oil. Great, so let's just push it down.
Bring
like
it
that.
down.
And then
Salt it.
salt it a little bit. I like to. Good.
And then butter it or olive oil it.
Oil, yeah.
Or olive oil it. A little more pepper.
Yeah. And let's do one more layer just where we kind of like just flatten it out.
Do you want me to press now?
Yeah, go for it. And then just do one more layer of potatoes.
So now we're going to go inside.
There you go.
Well, I think this
After-
looks beautiful.
And after today, now you're gonna have like at least one solid dish to impress your dates with.
Yeah,
If they wanna eat
I need
kitchen.
that.
You're really killing it.
Thank you. Well, I'm killing it because I have a good teacher.
Oh yeah.
Because I've never done this before, and you're telling me exactly what to do. Now, if we shoot this MOS, you could be like barking orders at me while we're doing it.
There you go.
And I'll get it all right.
No fucking clue what MOS is, but that sounds great.
Without
Oh,
sound.
okay.
All right. Press
so yeah,
down.
press it down, and then what we're gonna do. So we have you have the fat on the bottom, right?
Right.
And then like that. This is the bottom.
Yeah.
So then we're gonna take it over here, and turn it on. And so we'll just kind of let that hang out a little bit.
Right.
And then next up, while we're getting ready, chanterelle mushrooms.
Oh yeah, those
You're
are so
a mushroom
beautiful.
guy?
Well, I love them. I mean, I'm not really a mushroom guy per
Well, no,
se,
I mean, but like you like to eat mushrooms.
sometimes.
Okay, so you can just grab them. We're just gonna tear them, not too small, but like tear them.
So
just
you
into
want,
pieces.
but you keep that stem on
Yeah,
there.
yeah. The stem
Where
is
do you
our
want me to
friend
just
there.
set 'em
You
down
can set 'em
here?
down wherever, yeah.
See,
We're
the
just-
beauty of this is the gold. Look at
yeah,
that gold
but yeah,
color.
like just tear them. If they're big, you can tear them in quarters.
This color, I love this
So yeah,
color.
we'll have these nice mushrooms. They're perfectly in season, and like everyone can
Yeah.
associate with, or not everybody, but it's a.
This is the color of the pants I was wearing yesterday. Is this the sort of mushroom that I capture with my pig, a chanterelle? in
It
the
would
stew?
definitely be a byproduct of going out and finding truffles. Yeah. Just keep tearing some more of the
So it's all about moving and timing and
doing a couple of things at once.
multitasking.
Obviously,
But also, what I'm going to try to get for my character is the sensuality with the food.
For sure,
You
right?
know, like
So-
the hands.
So that's exactly what I envision. I've seen you act plenty of times, right?
Thank
so
you.
like I know you're like.
My
what you do.
trademarks. Yeah.
This is a really wonderful ingredient that the forest gives us, right? And your character is in tune with that because
Very much so.
that is your character.
Exactly
That's why I
right.
picked these ingredients. Same thing with
Yeah.
the huckleberry. These are
Right.
foraged foods.
I like
We
that.
talked about not using truffle because
Yeah.
of the cliche factor, but these are foraged foods that come from the Pacific Northwest,
Good.
where you're from.
Connection to nature.
This guy's sizzling away.
Right.
And what we're gonna do now is like you can come over, we'll have a thing where you just kind of like give it one, like maybe listen to it a little bit or something. And then what you're gonna do is open up that oven and just kind of slide it in there.
Listen, and then open the oven
Open
here,
the oven. Yep.
and then we go.
And just slide it in.
Number 1 or number 2?
That's a great one.
All right.
And then we're gonna leave it.
The fire, I shut it off or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're just gonna leave it in there for 20 minutes.
Wow, okay. All right.
Okay, so that's in the oven, that's warming up. Now I'm gonna teach you how to break down the bird. So we take the wing joint off.
Right there.
Just
Right,
like a
right at
chicken
where
wing.
the elbow is.
Yeah, and you can, there's like a little, like kind of a hole for you to find. Here, why don't you got that time, there you go.
So, you said there's a hole by the elbow?
It's not a hole, but yeah,
Here?
there's like a joint, we'll call it a joint. And you can find it, there you go.
I feel the joint. I gotta get my claw down.
There you go.
Now.
So now we got to take the head off.
Okay.
And so you just turn it, stretch it out, get it in as close, kind of take the knife and there's the, right there. And then you just got to kind of forcefully go right through it. Perfect. Now the bad news, dude.
Yeah.
These are
got it?
eviscerated, which means they have all the guts, which means they also have shit in them.
Right, they smell.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just, I think you can feel right here, that's where like, you know, the breast is. So you want to just go right under it and go right down.
And protect the legs still?
Yeah. Go right down and go right through. There you go.
This almost made me become a vegetarian.
Okay. Are you ready?
No, I'm ready. Here we go.
2 fingers.
Yeah, this ought to excite everyone in the theater.
You go in.
All right. And
Go
just take
in.
it out.
And then just rip it out and go right in the garbage there.
Yeah.
And so now you have an empty cavity.
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty empty. Do you?
You did great.
All
You
right,
did
good.
fucking great, man.
Good.
Okay, so we've got this nice situation here.
Yeah.
And then what we need to do, you're gonna stick your knife in. So there's, if you look at it, you've got spine. So watch. I stick my knife through
On one side of the spine?
on one side, and then I grab it when it sticks out, and I just kind of press down and pull out. So there you go. You're all the way through. Be careful. Yeah. You're so worried about cutting yourself.
But you want this coming off, or you're just trying to play
the
it?
other side. Here, watch. Pretty good. Yeah, got it. And then you gotta.
You're going to remove the rib cage,
remove
the spine.
Yeah.
So then, can I cut it this way too?
Yeah, great.
And then, but chef, I mean, I'm still feeling something over here. Did I miss it?
No, that's perfect.
Okay.
So look.
Watch out.
Your knife is stuck in it. So you got to get through right here. So
Okay.
now you've got it flayed open. We've got this little extra guy here that I don't know where that came from, but we'll get rid of it.
Oh, so you just get that out.
Take
Okay.
that.
All right.
You just have a little bit, but that's fine. So now what we're going to do, one more cut, spread the legs open.
Right.
And then you're going to just go right through and put your hand on top of the knife, like this.
Oh, to help break
Yeah,
it?
pop through.
I see.
And pull, yeah.
Beautiful pieces.
These nice pieces of bird. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Salt is a big fat ingredient when I'm cooking.
Sure. So then we'll flip it over.
And do it again?
And then, I do a little shake like that, you know. A little more pepper there. So just a little more fat. A lot of fat. Okay. So, hot pan.
Right.
Birds.
Right.
We don't just throw food in.
You're going on the skin
lay
first.
it in, right? So we lay one in. Grab this part right here, and then you want to make sure surface area, so you don't want it to be like that. So you want to lay it in.
Want to elongate it.
Yeah.
And lay it in.
Exactly. And then when you get it in, let's just do 2 at a time, okay?
Yeah.
So then we're going to give it a little swirl, all right? Just move it around a little bit for a second. Here, always with one in your hand.
Yeah, just. But the idea to move it around is making sure it's getting cooked evenly.
Yeah, and you want to get that, when you initially want to have oil under the skin, okay?
Yeah, and get a nice golden
here at
crust.
this point, now I'm going to show you what the move is here. So this is called butter basting, and it's one of the older French techniques. So we've got the pan.
Yeah.
We're going to just, a nice knob, and you can see how this is going to sizzle. So we tilt it back, and then what we do is we just continuously spoon this butter right over the top.
Nice. Bring it forward.
And just, wait, whoa. Yeah.
Okay.
Slide it in, the move.
Don't, yeah, I dumped it. That was not
But
smart.
you didn't really burn
No,
yourself.
I'm okay.
And now practice. Remember, hold it like a pencil.
Hold it like a pencil, now base.
Yeah. Right over. That's perfect. And so we'll flip it.
Yeah.
See how nice that is? And then this is time. You
Yeah.
can break it and snip it maybe before you put it in. And then we're going to just
Smells great.
hold the spoon like a pencil, not like a...
Like this?
No, like
this?
Yeah, there you go.
And it just,
That's a big, like, for you to want to, like, really look like a chef. And how do you hold your tools, you know?
Yeah.
And I'll correct you. Great. So then, then the next step, of course, in street cred, how do we tell when things are done? You poke them, right?
and what am I looking for? Or feeling for?
You. That's a little bit.
That's getting cooking through, or?
Yeah, but pigeon is tricky because that one. See how that feel that guy? It's just a little soft.
Yeah.
So then we'll just turn it one more time, and this would be maybe a good area for like grabbing this guy and just turning it over. You basted it, right?
Yeah.
You've got it swirling here. We're taking off the heat. Just let it sit for a second, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, we're kind of like, we're waiting for our potato cake to cook.
So.
And so, the pigeon is now cooked.
You're
We'll pull them out. We're going to rest them.
Take the foot off?
Yeah,
For
you can.
palate? I mean, how do your customers?
No, we're going to leave the foot on.
You're going to leave it on?
Oh, yeah, for the dish? Yeah, for the final dish?
Interesting,
Oh, yeah.
okay.
And so then, we've got this kind of like flavor in the pan.
Yeah.
Fond is what it would be called.
Right.
And now what we're going to do is we're going to add
Oh, nice.
the mushrooms
Yeah.
to make it nice and easy.
Right.
And because cooking is a low-fat affair, a little bit more of that.
Uh-huh.
Salt, pepper. You can sprinkle some of that salt in there with your excellent salting technique.
Yeah, excellent.
The towel is constantly in my hand. I'll constantly be absent-mindedly folding it into a nice square. Like grab a pan.
Right.
For this, you know, like using this guy to swirl the mushrooms around.
Right. I don't know. I kind of. Oh, it's got on fire. The towel.
It happens.
Yeah. Right.
What do you? I mean, what are you? I'd say that whatever you're feeling, you know.
I think if the towel is just over the shoulder.
It looks
you
more
know,
like what I'm envisioning.
And then I just
And then you grab it and do
Right.
it. All right. So you grab the towel, swirl, taste that sauce, see if you like it.
And you want me to use this spoon to taste it?
And like you're cooking at home, so one of the things you can do is you can.
I love it.
Okay, so we'll turn the heat off.
Where do you want me to put the sauce?
We leave it right
Just leave it
there.
right there.
See something real quick. How did the potatoes come out? Put this upside down on it, hold it like that, and then flip it real fast.
Wow. Okay. So use this.
Yeah. Flip it. Dude.
That looks pretty good.
Okay, so we've got this plate.
Right.
Just cut a couple slices. I cut it into that into quarters. I mean, really, your cut move is solid. Great, and then you're gonna do that. Great. So then for the plating sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
You cut it right, and then you're gonna
Use
slide
the knife to
right
get it
there.
off the
I'll
board.
grab you another plate.
You want it centered?
Yeah, a little bit more.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The plate has to be a pretty picture.
Now remember, we're always wiping down, believable. So you have the towel over your shoulder.
You use the towel to wipe
yeah,
down?
We're always wiping.
And now all these pieces, just dump them?
Yeah, and if you're a chef and you're wiping down,
Yeah.
you're like doing.
You're cleaning as you go.
Like this. Now we've got this bird. What we've done is we've rested it, and the leg. You want to carve? We can.
Are you going to remove the leg?
Well, we can have it be. Yeah, I think so. From the.
So you're going this way.
And so the meat's going to be kind of on the cage a little bit, but that's okay. No pun intended. Well, let's just put this breast, snuggle it right next there.
So what you did was you had it.
Yeah, just.
Why is yours?
Well, because mine's on the other side.
Right.
So but that's great. You know, we can remove,
Take it down a little bit.
get like that.
It looks
okay?
pretty.
And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab your towel that you use,
Right.
and you grab your spoon. We're gonna come over here. We're gonna. Great. This is the area we're always thinking about. Like, what's the shot you want with the smell, right? Because you can't just be like romantically smell everything. Like that's not realistic. Not, this is a good one for the, like, cause smell the mushrooms before, now smell them.
Yeah,
now
yeah.
there's something to smell, right?
Yeah, well, it's
And so we hold
kicking in with the butter.
and
And you put that on top of it.
Yeah, but you do, everyone's gonna be different, you know?
Right.
But it's like, how does it show up? Good. You got your spoon, you got your mushrooms.
So, sort of a...
And
And so how does it show up as chef's choice, right? I mean, if I want to,
yeah.
you know...
You want a couple, I think, you know, to
You just
see.
like dance around the outside.
And sometimes like see how that's perfect. Like you holding it
Yeah.
back in with the spoon.
And then, but you don't want to put too much on
Yeah,
top.
I think that's perfect.
All right, good.
Then we'll take our leg and we'll just kind of like prop it up.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Boom.
Figure out how you can.
Yeah. Using the spoon.
Snuggle them in a pile next to it because it showcases better the ingredients.
I love this. I love this presentation.
Well, that's why we work through things. You know,
Yeah,
progressions, right?
but I mean also.
I'm gonna put this on the menu tonight and let everyone know that you taught me how to make it right. Okay.
Yeah, right.
And then we're gonna turn around. We're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna grab our towel. We got our sauce, right?
Right.
And we're gonna think about how do we.
I notice you're putting it on the mushrooms. My instinct, if I could be so bold, would be to leave the mushrooms alone and let the customer decide where he wants to include the huckleberry or not,
go
so he
for
can
it.
enjoy the flavors as amongst themselves.
Go for it.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But see, if I do that to I'm telling him how to eat it, and I just don't like it when I go to restaurants and they put the sauce on my meat, because I'm like, I just wanted to taste the meat, you know? And then I'll combine the sauce on my own terms.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just my thought.
And then the other thing you're doing, taking the towel,
Yeah.
right, that you had.
Yeah.
And then you're always kind of like, this is like, you're cleaning the plates up.
Right. Make it look really beautiful.
And then, where did I put the sage? And so then we'll just have some leaves already put in. And so then,
Yeah, this is the dance.
this is the finishing, right? There's
Yeah.
one more thing that you actually need to do to make this a realistically finished dish. But see, that looks...
I think so, yeah. I love it.
The last thing that you have to do at every chef do is the super fancy salt.
Oh, okay. How thick is that crystal? Do you ever use Maldon?
This is better. This is Jacobson's. Yeah, so I think that's the dish.
Right. I love it. Thank you for that. Thank you. I think that's fantastic.
I love it.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so Foley, you got what we need for the crust? Foley, would you make, what do you think, 6 eggs, 3 cups be enough custard? The 3 mushroom tart is a lot like a dark quiche. All right, so it's basically your mushroom and seasoning elements bound together by a custard, which is 2 eggs to 1 cup heavy cream. When that bakes, it sets up, holds it all suspended, and then deliciousness happens. Now you're cutting butter. You can literally just press straight through.
Right. So
Okay.
you don't want to rock the knife.
Don't ever rock the knife, no.
Okay.
Yeah, really get your hands in there. Squeeze the fat, that's the butter and the lard, between your fingers even.
And still breaking it down.
You're breaking it down by like squeezing it, almost like Play-Doh. When you squeeze it, it comes out between your fingers.
It's almost like chemistry here.
Oh, it's
also
totally
bonding
chemistry,
it,
yeah.
like I'm bonding these elements together with my hands.
Yep. And we haven't even added the water yet.
And this is a very kind of sensual, because these feelings are pretty. This is probably his joy of cooking, you know.
Cooking is the most sensual thing you can do. You're putting something into other people's body that you've worked with your hands.
Hence the
You
pressure.
know, and the pleasure of eating it itself, and the satiation of eating it. I mean, these are all. We're in the entertainment business here too.
Yeah.
Okay, the whole experience, you know, from the ambiance, the wine, the service, the personality of the servers. When I come out and greet the guests, all these things, you know, it's romantic. That's why 90% of our reservations, you know, are anniversaries, birthdays. You know, you can go anywhere, you know, and get a meal, okay, but having the expression and the passion of the chef come through and what's being eaten, that's something special.
Well, that separates you from every other art form because the person and the customer is ingesting the art, and that to me is a lot more pressure than a painting.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because they're taking it home with them and they're going to sleep with it.
Exactly. Eating isn't just about taste; it's about texture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that's why I love tortilla chips.
There you go. Yeah.
You know, I love that crunch.
But how many different ways do they use tortilla flour?
Right.
You know, sometimes it's crunchy, sometimes it's soft, sometimes it's both. Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a chip, sometimes it's a whole taco. Right?
The taco is talk about texture, you know, that going from the crunch into the softness of the meat. It's a great experience.
That's part of what's important about this dish is that crispy, but flaky pie crust with a little bit of dryness against the moisture of the mushroom in the sauce, all coming together on the palate at the same time with the aromatic of the mushroom, touch of rosemary. That dance is what makes a good dish.
It's important to do it judiciously and have it be balanced so that one side doesn't get more water than the other side. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I don't
Like
get into this dry.
And how much you want it? Then I stir and then I do the water again. Yes.
And don't be afraid to actually turn the bowl too.
Chef Chris is saying is I want to give it also that confidence and that attack a little bit with the food, like I am in charge.
Now let's stop. So remember, we don't want to overwork it.
Okay. This is a nice element too.
Yeah.
I'm creating the earth.
Get the remaining stuff in there. Just press it together. Now at this point, you want to be careful not to overwork it.
See, I got to be gentle now.
Right.
Now we slow down.
More firm pressure, pushing out any air pockets rather than squeezing and kneading.
Everything is now coalescing. Now,
Slide it
Chef
down.
Wally, just go boom.
Yeah.
See that speed and confidence?
Yeah,
He was
I love
doing
that.
two things at exactly the same time. He was pressing and turning. Why don't you give that a try?
So he's like,
Not too hard, not too hard. And now that it's spread out a little bit, you're gonna have more fat touching the table. Flip it over. And before you do that, actually, pick it up real quick. There you go, spread the flour around. Exactly.
but not too hard.
Right.
The concept is what? We're just trying to get it all.
We're getting it flattened enough that we can start using the rolling pin.
So when it starts to go to a funky shape, before it gets too thick, you can still...
See those pockets of fat?
Yeah, those
That's
are-
what we want right
Those
there.
are beautiful.
Now, remember spreading out again. Hold up, flip it, spread some flour around. Now, there you go.
Sort of like a pizza.
A little bit.
And this is to do it very gently. Now, second fold is.
Yeah, you can choose not to do that second fold. I just find it's a little easier to move.
I thought it looked good. Now, is that where we're at, or is there yet another fold?
Nope, just that.
Okay, now, this.
Folding it simply makes it easier to lift it all up
Yeah.
and get it into the pan. And because we've got so much extra dough, it doesn't have to be super precise. Right, before you press it in, if you press it in, you'll stretch it out.
Okay, so.
Okay, so what you'll do is you lift it up,
Right.
and then you'll
Okay.
feel it hit the pan underneath.
Beautiful.
All right.
Does that feel good to you, Chef Christopher?
Yeah, we're good.
Good.
What you're basically doing is you're trimming off all the excess.
Okay.
And you can apply about, do you feel that? About
Yeah.
that much pressure. Just enough to cut and to keep it nice and clean. That's
Turn the pan?
if it's more convenient for you, sure. And at this point, this excess,
Yeah.
see what I did right here? I just pulled it apart, just push it aside.
Let it go.
Just get it out of your way, exactly. All right, so onto the filling part. Simple set of ingredients, simple preparation, but what happens in the pan can be fairly complex. We've got four different things that you're gonna be chopping here. But the basic fundamental is the same all around. Keep your fingers like a claw. We're not going for a perfect dice. We're not trying to impress a culinary school teacher. We're looking to basically just chop this up as much as we can. All the curled in fingers. And see how even when I'm kind of just pushing it in together to group it up, I'll keep my fingers curled.
Just always, whenever you're around the knife, you keep the fingers curled.
A lot more. I'm going to start really giving you a hard time about that.
understand.
Curled your fingers.
Right, like that.
There you go.
Like-
Yes,
like
aggressively.
yeah.
Yes. Using your knuckles to guide the knife
They're connected.
gives you speed and safety.
So this is I'm way out of the danger zone.
Right.
By
You got it.
doing that.
By doing that, exactly. Your grip is a little better than it was before. I saw your thumb up here like this, okay? By putting one finger up in front of the hilt like that,
Right.
okay, and your thumb here, okay, obviously not too far down, your pointer finger further up, you're gonna get nice control of the blade. You're gonna be able to actually feel the cutting board with the tip of your finger.
Like this.
Yep. or even straight, I'll kind of brace my finger against my middle finger by scooching your whole hand up on the knife. There you go. You really want to control that blade, okay?
So am I in control?
Does it feel like you're in control?
I think so.
All right. At this point now, you can more accurately control the angle, the speed, the pressure, etc. And your hands are a little closer together versus back here. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So we're good.
For these 2 mushrooms. Now we got these to do.
Oh, okay. All right.
Do we want to bang through all of these first, or do we want to go through each one of them a little bit first?
Now let me bang through those so I get, because I'm already in the zone on that.
I'm going to be on you like stink on shit though for the first few mushrooms, making sure you're doing this right.
Doesn't matter which direction I go in with the blade. If you want me to be consistent with that, or is it okay?
Yeah, you do fall into a rhythm.
So I got to start.
I tend to always slice away. See, I can look up at you and have a conversation while I'm doing this because I got the claw and I know exactly what's going on. I'm in no danger. Exactly.
Well, that's a chef to me.
You start building a muscle memory.
Yeah.
Just by repetition.
So I know I've got my claw. I can look at the camera and I can still slice.
All right. So first thing we're gonna chop this up. All these we're gonna chop up exactly the same way.
Right.
All right. Slight. Here, it's not as much of an issue because it's such a large chunk that you're only slicing once. You can actually move your fingers into the groove so you can maintain more positive control. Boom. Turn it. Do it again. Now put the knife down. Pull that fucker out of there.
Just like this?
Yeah, dig your thumb in there. Pull it out.
I can just do it like I'm doing at home.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're just chopping this up. That's all we're doing.
All right.
And again, this is not super pretty dice.
So you can chop it a little bit.
Exactly. Our job is making people happy. I'm in the business of making people physically feel good and be happy. And that's awesome. But we can't please everybody.
Right.
You know. And
that's right. Well, I deal with it too, the critics. Why we're doing it is that, we love it.
Mm-hmm. Well, and we like making other people happy with our art.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think we're good.
I just use my hands.
Totally. Yep. Now the onion, I'm going to do one alongside you. We're going to slice off the ugly ends. There you go. Do the other end.
Keep the finger there.
Just to get it started.
And then let it go.
Now what I can do is, again, claw, starting at the end. Can you see this?
Yeah.
Is
slice. Now this is getting a little slippery.
Here's a trick for when it gets real thin like that.
Yeah.
Grasp it on both sides and just cut down the center. Like here, let me
go in here.
Let me do one with you.
Yeah.
Just grab. See like this.
Yeah.
Keeping my fingers nice and.
I get it.
Your pointer fingers are getting pretty good with the claw. Your thumb is still having a bit of a tendency to slip.
Yeah, I think the issue is I got to stay perpendicular.
What we're doing right now is we're making the duxelle, so we're going to melt a little butter in there. So we're going to melt the butter. We're going to add the bell pepper and the onion.
Okay.
And we're not going to brown it. We're just going to give it a light saute. We're going to sweat it, basically. So it just starts to become translucent. Now, there are varying schools of thought of how and when to salt. So the reason I bring it up is because we are going to add a little salt to this right now. Part of what it's doing is it's pulling the moisture out, which will allow it to evaporate off a little faster.
So how long do you want me to do this?
We're going to look at it and that'll tell us.
And then what are you looking for?
See how, you can stop stirring for a second. Give it a little shake to spread it around. There you go. Good shake. Some of it's becoming a little translucent versus that's still white.
Right.
You want them all to be about that level right there.
Wow. The attention to detail makes that amazing, right?
So we're at about where we need to be.
Okay, now off.
I just killed the heat for safety, but yeah. Go ahead and grab the mushrooms.
Dump them in.
Dump them in.
The whole shebang.
Yep. You can either scrape the inside of it, or what I do is...
Dang it. Okay. And then just keep going.
Yeah, I'll only get the heat back up.
Keep sliding it evenly.
Right. I'm going to give it a little bit of water.
Yeah. It looks kind of dry.
But it's not. Remember, mushrooms are 90% water.
Right.
So we're adding the water so it doesn't stick, and we're starting a little bit of steam. That steam will warm the rest of the mushrooms, which will then allow them to release their moisture.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
And that's where the chemistry comes in.
Now you'll start to see the moisture actually starting to build up. I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit.
Yeah.
You let it chill here for a second. This is the phase where I start adding all the seasoning and such.
Okay.
Okay.
So just let it be.
Right. See, with this dish, we use a lot of powdered things like the cayenne. So I'm just going to give it a little sprinkle here.
Do you want me to stop moving it? You want me to let it be?
It doesn't need to be stirred as aggressively now that it's starting releasing its moisture. You'll revisit it every minute or so. You'll check on it, make sure there's no sticking going on.
And how long is this process?
For this particular volume, I think it'll be done within 15 minutes.
15.
Yeah.
And that's when I go and make my herbs and I come back and check it. Don't forget about it. It's all timing.
Bingo. I'm going to be a little more aggressive with the heat now.
Yeah, but the water is going to be gone.
Just about. Yep.
And that's what we mean by reduction.
Exactly. So if you scrape away all the mushroom, if you try to push it all away from the center,
Yeah.
okay, see how it's pooling?
Yeah.
All right.
We need it hotter.
What you want to do is, hotter or more time,
Right.
what you want to do is get it so that when you're pushing that away, there's no more water pooling.
Right.
In about 5 to 10 minutes, you'll see the liquid seep in and pool. That means you're getting closer and closer to the point where when it's no longer pooling, you're done. And you'll also be simultaneously reducing the heat because now you've got less water in there, less buffer against all that heat.
There's a form to it. Move it out.
There's an elegance to it.
An elegance. And then bring it back in. And there's a concept to the motions. It's thought through so we don't let it burn.
Right. It's not random. You're focusing on making sure nothing burns.
Yeah.
That the food is being evenly distributed while simultaneously, mixing in all the herbs and things that you've already put in here.
Yeah.
Scrape that center. See, is anything sticking? Is it pooling? You know what you can also do to check for the pooling?
Yeah.
Just tilt your pan down. Oh, still got a lot of pooling going on. Give it a shake. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That'll distribute it a little more.
When you're in the zone and you're making a beautiful dish, where is your mind? Are you almost in a trance? Are you kind of multitasking and talking about a million different things, or are you
my
like a meditation almost?
My ADD allows me to hyper focus on what I'm doing, and let my mind be on the other 4 things on the stove at the same time, and what's in the oven, and on the phone ringing, and on the wine being delivered. You're almost there.
Yeah.
I just dropped the heat again, so I wouldn't sweat the danger. But what I would do is tilt that pan and hold it there.
There's no sweat. I mean, there's no.
Hold on. Flatten it out again. Push it back.
Push back.
Yep. Push it all together.
All back here, and then do it.
When you're pushing things together, you're more going to want to use that motion
Like
instead
a
of
paintbrush.
Exactly. But now lift up the pan from the heat and tilt it. Not too much, so you don't want that to slide, but you want the water underneath it to start dribbling out.
Yeah.
And
I don't see it.
let's give it a minute, because it still needs to come down and then down. Maybe a little less of a tilt so the duxelle's not sliding. We're about there. I think we're pretty much ready to go at this point. So kill the heat, pull it off. When we do it in the cast iron, we'll actually do this number here. If it still needs to reduce, if it still needs more time, you'll start seeing the water creeping in and forming a puddle while simultaneously sizzling off. But if it's already ready to go and it's reduced enough, it'll look pretty much like that.
I'm actually feeling kind of excited, like this is a work of art that we're creating.
Are you building an appetite, I hope?
It is making me a little bit hungry.
All right.
Yeah.
So pre-scrambled the eggs, just kind of warming up the cream a little bit for better light and everything. Basically what we're going to do now is, you'll probably have a better set piece than that, put all the mushroom duxelle into here, and then we're going to add some custard, stir, add some custard, stir, until we get the right ratio. Go. Yeah, go ahead. So you can use that spoon to stir it, but what I would do is add about half a cup at a time into here.
So half a cup.
Now it's obviously way less than what we need, but we're just going to do a little bit at a time to make sure that we don't add too much custard.
Now stir.
Fold, get the stuff at the bottom too. Let's do another whole cup. Yeah. I'm eyeballing this because, like I said, we usually do larger batches. Or start with a half, add a little more, you get the idea. We're just doing a little bit at a time so that, if you're too aggressive with adding, you fuck it up.
Right. What am I looking for in here?
As much the ratio of custard to duxelle as you are the resistance. You know, how hard is it to stir? How loose is it?
What am I going to get by stirring it? Is it going to thicken?
You don't need to stir it anymore. Basically, you're just making sure that it's fully integrated.
Okay.
There's not a pocket of duxelle down here that you missed.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Because the custard is what binds it all together.
Right. But it's not like making a butter where by the more I churn it, it's going to thicken. This is not going to.
Correct, correct. You know, maybe another quarter cup and it's ready to bake.
So what happens is a quarter cup. Is that about right?
Yeah. So at this point, we pour it into the pie crust.
Oh, look at that. And that, now when I pour this, center's good?
Yeah.
Just let it go.
Yeah, and you're at the right height so it doesn't splash everywhere. This is a reconstituted dried mushroom.
Right.
So it's going to have some really soft spots. Yeah, scrape off the onion. Into
Just do it right here?
yeah, just carefully with your finger.
Okay, so.
There you go.
Yeah,
It's going to have some really soft, mushy spots, but it might have some really hard spots. Just be careful. And it can be ugly.
I can just chop it? Or
Yeah, start with a slice, turn it, chop it, keep your fingers clear. Go ahead and pop all of that straight into the pan. Go ahead and pop that in.
Did you want me to separate it or?
Well, I'm going to add a few other things to it real quick, and then we'll stir it all together.
Right.
Add them all, stir all at once. Taste, adjust, repeat.
What do you want me to stir it with? That?
Maybe this, so we're not tearing up the crust underneath.
So just separate it?
Exactly.
Make it even and everyone
Right.
gets the same amount.
Yeah, normally the dried mushroom we just added, those herbs and spices, we would do in the pan over here. But remember, you're going to use the fresh herbs.
Right.
While it's reducing, you're going to be chopping the herbs up,
Right.
putting them in as you're finishing the chopping.
Right.
See how that's multitasking?
Yes.
Being efficient with your time?
Right.
You want to give this a taste?
Can I use this or what?
As long as you don't use it again to stir.
Okay, so
Just a little bit. You're just trying to gauge the salt level.
that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Wow. I'm emotional. I'm getting a little verklempt over here.
And you made it.
Wow.
Tell you what we ought to do is after we bake it and finish it, we'll chill it up overnight. We'll mail you the rest.
I would love that. Wow. That's great. Thanks, Chef.
My pleasure. Let's get this in the oven. So that's what it looks like after it's baked.
Beautiful.
I smell it.
It's
Not a lot there right now.
but
'Cause it's
yeah, but look at the gradation. It's like stone almost.